-25. This is our solar noon, just above the horizon, 6 degrees. And I have got to get some water for our house and start this truck. You know the badge. This is the ambient air temperature right now. Okay, let's just take some initial temperature readings here. That's -31.9, -33. The batteries are running at -33. Let's get into the battery here. Yeah, -33. It hasn't been running a long time. Okay, it's cold. Oil filter, -36. Under the engine here, -36. Yeah, alright. In addition to the block heater, I've got a handy heater that I'm going to put on the bottom of the oil pan. Under the engine, you can tell how stiff the cord is. It won't even relax straight. So we'll do that. And then I've got a trickle charger on the battery. It goes to both batteries, but it's not indicating that it's charging, meaning it's full up. But it has been trickle charging, which keeps it from freezing internally. Then the block heater comes in, and I've got 2 battery pad heaters that are underneath the batteries, wrapped up. And then, of course, this goes to the block heater back there. And that's the initial warming that I'm doing for the batteries and the motor. Considering this is the above ground tank that I fill up my #1 diesel off of, this would be a good idea of what it's like when we pour it. It should be no problem. Since we've had almost a week of -40 to 50, and this is our first warm spell of -20, I'm not worried at all about the diesel that came out of this above ground tank, and therefore I'm not worried about what's in the truck. It shouldn't be gelled at all. Should not have an issue. But I did bring and leave out for the last 4 days a few other liquids, including engine coolant. And this is regular dyno oil, 5 weight, and full synthetic 5 weight, and full synthetic 75 gear oil, because I always think about how solid your differentials must be. And for what it's worth, it's said that the heating oil up here in the diesel fuel is possibly cut with gasoline, but I need to verify that. Okay, some initial temperature tests in there. -30 on the dyno oil. I don't know how that reads in there, but it's also reading -28 or so. It's hard for that eye to see straight in there. -31 on the gear oil. Let's get that eye straight in there. Yeah, -31. So they're all right about the same. As it turns out, I used brand new jugs for all 3 of these. It took a little while to open them up in this cold. Let's see how the dyno oil pours. Ooh. It pours not very well, and very stringy. Let's see. Some of that's diesel coming out, and there's the oil. Wow, it's like honey, no doubt. Here, watch it pile up. It's pouring. Very good. Awesome. Alright, let's try full synthetic 5 weight. See how that goes. Almost just as thick. Very surprising. Look at how thick that is. Oh, that's what I have in my Jeep. Maybe it's not Napa. Interesting. That was surprising. I thought it would be a little bit thicker of a pour. Try one more time. Oh man, just barely. And this is what I have in my differentials. So let's see what full synthetic, at least this is what is in my Jeep. I don't know about what's in the truck, I can't remember. And let's see if it'll pour. There it goes. Very slow pour. Alright, let's try over here on this. Okay. It pours and it moves, but it's not super thick. That's something to keep in mind if you take off. You really have to let this oil start moving around. It is solid as a glob. It does not stick to me. That's your gear oil. And that's how you get pinion starvation and all those other things. Alright. And now to see what the Rotella is like. It's been sitting in my truck. What else is in here? ATF, that'll be good to see what that acts like too. Alright. Okay, Napa ATF. Pretty darn thick. But it's okay. Let's see it. It's still very thick. Kind of the same situation, I imagine. It's a little more liquidy. It's still very soupy. Oh, that burns my finger. Oh my gosh, it's so cold, it burns my finger. Negative 32, okay. Yeah, negative 32. And here's the T6. Temperature of negative 36. So let's see how this pours into my jug here. Pretty darn thick still. Kind of the same. Very important. I don't know how your turbo can handle that, but I guess it can. Gotta heat it up. Cold start would be so stupid. Full synthetic, that's what I have in the diesel. It's still pretty darn thick. It flows, but not by much. This is going to burn my finger, I know, but you can see when I try to scoop it up that it... Oh, it hurts. Oh my gosh, that hurts. So it's flowing, but not much. I was reminded that pure antifreeze freezes easier than a dilution mix. Okay, we're getting there. You can see the steam escaping from underneath this rug setup I have. I've got a kind of like a horse blanket. It's actually a dog car protector and some covers. And I'm shooting hot air under there with a space heater. It's actually doing a really good job. I measured it to bring it up so far to about, what are we at? About 10 above or so. So from negative 30 or whatever we had before to most components are about 10 above, but the turbo is still really cold way in the back. I'd like to get it warm, at least above negative 20. Okay, pretty much time to start it up. That got it up to 14 degrees on the alternator. 18 degrees. That's pretty awesome. Deep inside there, 20 degrees. I'll get a turbo measurement here in a second. The battery didn't get too warm. It's at -2, and that's from the pad, the heater underneath the battery. Okay, well, it's time to start it finally. Of course it's going to start, but let's see what it sounds like. I've cycled the glow plugs a few times. And yeah, let's give it a whirl. There's a little bit of an exhaust leak. And the truck is going to idle real low for a while, and then it's going to idle up when it gets warm enough. Now you're starting to hear the back pressure valve. It's trying to kick on, but it hasn't fully kicked on yet. Starting to sound better. There it idled up. Got enough temperature. The only thing I wasn't able to increase in temperature was the oil filter. It stayed at -20. So the oil inside the oil filter was pretty cold. But I got the top end to get up pretty high, and then the oil pan, it got to about -5 or so. So that oil at -5 is still pretty nasty. Up. That's just steam at this point. And the back pressure valve's on. Let's see about my oil leak. Under the truck there. Yeah, you can't really see it, but there's a massive oil leak. Let's see if we can get a closer look. That happens at startup every time from the oil cooler. I have to fix those seals. Okay, that's it. You're done. Outside it's -31. Just random shot. The valve's running at 9 degrees, 7 degrees, and the water inside is right about No, it can't be. There we go. The top of it's starting to freeze because it got the lid off. It's right at 32. Put the lid on to keep it there. We use blowtorch, because we have to blowtorch the valve to open up the valve. This sucks. Tell you what.